Hi, I'm Scott Winter with the Word Search Division of Lifeway, and I want to tell you about a bundle of content we've put together just for the preachers. It doesn't matter if you've been preaching for years or you're just starting out, there's a wealth of information found in these 9 books. I read a lot of books that are long on theory but short on application. Not the books found in the How to Preach bundle. These are books full of practical and useful tips, like breathing techniques, enunciation guides, and proper tempo for your sermons. And it's not just preaching. You'll find recommendations on being a better pastor to your congregation, how to balance the demands of life and ministry, sermon outlines, and much, much more. I want to take just a few minutes and tell you just one thing you will find in each book. A Complete Guide to Sermon Delivery is an incredibly practical book that has it all, from better body language to techniques for improving pitch and volume. Here is a section dedicated to articulation, including exercises you can record to evaluate yourself. It even comes with the evaluation forms. Chris Wells' Guidebook to Pastors is a complete guide on how to run your church, how to organize it, even how to deal with staff. This section has a list of do's and don'ts for the pastor in his personal life. The Handbook of Contemporary Preaching will help you craft a sermon from start to finish. Here's a discussion on the creative cycle and its impact on sermon preparation. I like this tip on withdrawing, giving your sermon time to breathe a little before finishing. Power in the Pulpit is all about expositional preaching. This chapter will teach you how to structure a sermon to be more effective. Practical Wisdom for Pastors covers everything from counseling to weddings and funerals. Here are 18 dangers common to pastors and how to avoid them. Specific to preaching, the first one is making sure we are correctly interpreting the passage. I love this quote. Strap yourself to your desk until you have dug out the message and know for sure what God is really saying. Steps to the Sermon is another step-by-step guide to crafting a sermon. On the heels of our last point on correct interpretation, here's an entire chapter on the different types of biblical interpretation. Let's face it, we all love stories. But are your stories effective? Using illustrations to preach with power is all about using those stories to enhance and give practical application to your sermons. Here's a section on how to best craft illustrations. The Moment of Truth is another detailed guide on the sermon preparation process. As the title of the book implies, this chapter is all about what to do after the sermon is done and before you are ready to preach. A preaching bundle wouldn't be complete without some sermon starters. Here we went to one of the best. In my sermon notes, you will find 264 sermon outlines from Charles Spurgeon spanning Genesis to Revelation. We hope this bundle will provide you with practical ways to do what you do best, better. Preach God's Word. If you're preparing to preach your 5th or your 500th sermon, we know you will find some great suggestions in all of these books. For more information, head over to wordsearchbible.com. There you can find out more about the bundle, each individual title, or all of the other great content Word Search offers.